Hey guys, I'm Pacey Cervantes, new in Nashville. I got George Birge on with me. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm out here in Nashville, home for a couple days, and just finished writing a song here on Music Row, and feeling good.
I bet you barely get any time at home in Nashville. So is that a couple days like really nice for you right now?
It's the best, man. Especially this phase of life, as things are really starting to take off for the first time for me. It's kind of that season where you're digging in and you're out on the road every week and meeting folks and playing shows, which is what I dreamed about and prayed about. But when I do get time at home, it is definitely sacred. I got a wife and two little boys at home, and we've just been super intentional about it, which is, it's kind of the good and the bad side of it. The bad side is I'm gone so much, but the good side is that when I'm home, our time is so special together that we really make sure that we're being intentional about, going out to dinner and going to the zoo and going to see a movie and like really just kind of cherishing the time that we have to each other. And it's been really great.
Yeah, that's what do they say? The distance makes the heart grow fonder.
It's 100% true. It's 100% true.
And so your wife must really be supportive of you. I mean, is I imagine she is, right?
It's been such a cool road. We've been together for a long time. We started dating when we were 17 years old. And so
Oh, wow.
she's gotten to see all the highs and lows of this. She moved from Texas to Nashville with me. She saw me, kind of get a start and then lose a record deal and kind of fall on my face a couple times. But she was like, without fail, always the one that believed in me, even when I didn't. And so now that, we've got a top 10 song and things are taking off in a way that I never could have dreamed of, it's the most exciting part for me is to get to share that with her that's been there every step of the way for this thing. So
Yeah.
it's been really special to get to do it together.
I love hearing that. And your kids, I'm sure, love probably hearing you sing, right? Do you ever sing to them at night?
Oh yeah, we do, and we have got a little fire pit in the backyard, and that's one of our favorite things to do. Go sit in the backyard, and we'll make up songs together. I'll have them help me write songs, and it's a lot of fun. They're 4 and 6, and so they're just kind of getting to the age of like being old enough to like figure out what Dad does and think it's cool when they hear it on the radio. And they got to come to the Grand Ole Opry with me the other night, which was pretty special. And it's just a cool phase of life. I actually the other week I played an arena one night, and then I got home and I played a kindergarten classroom the next morning. So it's definitely two different looks in my world
That's
right
a,
now.
that's the life of a country artist as a father to to
Yes.
toddlers and little kids. Dude, I love that. So I've listen, I did my research before talking to you, and it seems like the rave reviews are that you are meant for a solo career. Because I mean, look at you right now. You know, you're George Bird. You were part of a duo. So what how does that feel? Like, does it feel great knowing that you are a star like that?
It's hard to ever look at myself as that. And I will say that, like, my time in the duo is some of my best memories, and still some of my closest friends were in that band and part of that project. And I do think that, everything happened for a reason, and that brought me to town and taught me how to write a song and taught me how to put on a live show. But there just got to a point where I was feeling unfulfilled creatively, and through nobody's fault, it just was. I had some music that I wanted to make. I had some stuff that I wanted to say, and I felt called to kind of chase that in a direction different than what that band was doing. And so, I started making some of my own music, and I started writing some stuff just myself. And it was just so fulfilling to kind of be able to put that on paper and then put it out in the world, and just kind of plant my flag and say, this is me. I don't have to pretend to be anything that I'm not. I don't have to put a mask on when I'm going on stage. Like, this is authentically me, and this is what I have to say. And for me, whether it worked or not, it was just going to be something where when I put my head on the pillow at night, I was going to be happy because I knew that I was doing me, and I knew that I was doing what I wanted to do. And the bonus of having people connect with it and having it take off the way that it has is something that I never could imagine. But it has been so gratifying to kind of put myself out there and to, kind of show the world who I really am and what I really have to say and have people connect with it. So I'm feeling very, very blessed these days, and it's beyond my wildest dreams, and I'm kind of just trying to soak it in as it happens.
Dude, that's awesome. It's really difficult because you're here and there. You're so distracted. So it's probably really difficult sometimes. Do you have to force yourself to be like, "Wow, I'm living my dream"?
Yeah, it is. I think the hardest thing, especially in this industry, because there's always going to be somebody bigger and there's always going to be somebody doing better than you are. And I think the hardest thing in this industry is we're all so like goal driven, and we all like have places that we want to be and dreams that we want to accomplish, and just like allowing yourself to be happy, allowing yourself to like take a little pride in the small milestones. And yeah, the way I always try to look at it is like, what would George 5 years ago think about where George today is, you know? And it's like,
Right.
if I take myself out of where I'm at right now and think, you know, 5 years ago me would be mind blown to be in the position that I'm in am right now. And I try to find joy in that guy, trying to find joy in like telling that guy what we're doing today.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. And I hear it all the time where they say 5 years ago you were praying to be where you are now.
Yeah. It's true, and
So it's really cool.
when once it starts happening and once it starts moving quickly, it's one of those things that it's like, all right, well, what's the next step? What's the next big accomplishment we can do? I'll see this guy doing this. Let's see if we can't get there. And I think that, you know, that kind of drive and that kind of hustle is what creates success and what opens doors. And especially in this town, you almost have to be like irrationally confident to make it, because the first 100 times you knock on the door, you're going to get told to go away or told no. And so it's like you almost have to have a screw loose to stick around in this town long enough to make it. But I think it's like, you know, allowing yourself to take a breath and not be so goal driven and not be so, you know, impatient on the next step, and be happy in the moment. And so I try to
Yeah.
almost pretend like I've got a camera, like taking mental snapshots. Like when we played Red Rocks the other day, it was one of those things. It was like, if you let it will go by in a blur. But if you're kind of conscious of being like, hey, remember this moment, or remember meeting this person, or remember walking through this hallway, you kind of have that to hold on to forever, and it makes it a little bit more special. So yeah.
Dude, that's so cool. And you brought up a good point, because I feel like a lot of people, not just country artists, a lot of people, you know, normal people, not saying you're not normal, but a lot of like, you know, regular people like us, it takes, you know, it may take 99 no's to get that one yes, but that one yes can be the life-changing event of your lifetime, right?
100%. And that's, you know, that's kind of the story of this town. Is it's such a small community, and there's so few people that get to do this and call it a job, that, you know, everybody wants to do it. And every gatekeeper in this town, and every gatekeeper in the music industry in general, like their first answer is supposed to be no, because, you know, there's just not enough room for everybody to make it. And everybody here in this town was the best in their hometown. And so you're coming to Nashville, where there's every single person is talented, and every single person deserves a record deal or deserves to be on the radio, and there's just not room for it. And so it's like, how do you bang your head against the wall long enough to get your chance? And for me, it was a solid 9 years of being in this town and falling on my face and being told no, and second guessing myself and whether I was good enough. And you just wait for that one chance to slip your foot in the door, and then once you're there, hopefully you got the goods to back it up. And that's kind of where
Would
we're at right now. And it's really, really it's an exciting time.
I mean, that's the thing. Listening to your music, you definitely have the goods, and your writing abilities are ridiculous. So I'm not trying to like blow up your ego, but like
I need it sometimes. I'm hard on myself sometimes. So thank you.
you are very talented, and I'm glad that you're finally getting your time to shine, especially as a solo artist, you know.
It's been such a blast. And you know, I've got a really great friend group in this town now, and a lot of my closest buddies that were believers in me before everybody else are now part of writing on my project. And you know, obviously I told you about my wife
Awesome.
coming on this journey with me, so it's just, I've got such a great crew around me, and I've got so many people that have been rooting for me and pulling for me, that I'm now getting to like share the joy of a little bit of success with. So it's, you know, it's a pretty surreal moment, and hopefully we got a lot more to come from there.
I bet you do. Can I like to ask this, because I feel like the topic of mental health is not really talked about as much as it should be, and I feel like, especially with how many fans you have, I feel like them hearing this perspective from you, especially as crazy as your life is. How do you essentially just protect your mental health? Like, is there something you do that really gets you in kind of a calm mind space to help it out?
I think the number one thing is surrounding yourself with people that are genuinely there for you, regardless of your talent or what you do for other people. The people that, you know, are with you thick and thin, that's your solace, that's your place that you protect yourself. And, you know, as long as those people are close to you and as long as you make them happy and they make you happy, that's all that really matters. And the rest of the world is kind of just a bonus. Because like for me, I can make myself sick with whether it's social media. Like, you know, I remember when I used to be excited to get 100 likes on an Instagram post, and then it was 1,000 likes, and then, you know, it's when I'm not excited to get until I get this many likes, and then if you have something that falls below that, you're disappointed, or you feel like you're not worthy, you're not good enough, or maybe you don't have it anymore. And the same thing with streaming. You put out a song and you hope it gets 1 million streams, and if it doesn't, you know, you're beside yourself. And if you put your worth in those numbers that are beyond your control, and then a lot of times, you know, a little bit of luck or something falls into it as well, it's going to be highs and lows, and it's and you can make yourself sick over it. And I've been guilty of doing that in the past. But like, if you put your worth and your value to the people that truly love you and that are truly around you, and then everything else is just a bonus, that's where you can really find peace in this industry, and that's where the stability comes from. And for me, especially like starting a family and having a wife and having some close kids around me, when I start to get lost in that stuff, or when I start to put too much weight on it, you know, they're close enough to me to kind of pull me out of it. And it's been a really, really blessing for me. Yeah.
I love hearing that. So it sounds like they also are the type of people to maybe say, like, give it to you straight, like tell you like what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear.
It's 100% right. You know, you don't need yes people around you all the time. And I am convinced that the moment that you believe your own hype in this town is the moment you're lost. You know, like when you think you can't miss, or when you think you're too good for anything or whatever, you know, that's the moment that you probably need to look yourself in the mirror and say, you know, let's try to get this train back on the track. So it's I definitely
That's
have
right.
some people that know how to humble me quickly in my life, and I sure do need it sometimes.
Dude, that's awesome. George Birge, thank you so much for coming on to New in Nashville. I honestly can't wait. You are one of the people that I know is going to blow up, and I can't wait to see your success. You know, you're going to start selling out like stadiums at some point. I can see that because you are so talented. So thank you.
It means
Sorry,
the
I'm
world
not
to
a
me you
yes
say
man.
that.
But I see the talent, and I love it, and I love seeing people like you just thrive like I know you will. So thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thanks so much for having me, and can't wait to see you soon.